Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about hardware. What is hardware? Hardware simply means the physical parts of computer, which means any parts of the computer that you can see and touch. So this hardware is further divided into two parts. We have the internal devices and then the external devices. So the internal devices are hardware that are found inside the computer, though they are hardware because you can see them and touch them, but they are not outside, they are inside. So you have to open the computer before you can find them, such as the RAM, the processor, the power supply, and etc. Then we have the external devices. So the external devices, as the name implies, are the external hardware. They are the parts of the computer that we can see outside the computer, such as the keyboard, the monitor, the mouse. So those are external devices. Then, apart from these two categories of hardware, hardware is also further divided into four parts. So these four parts is based on the way the computer functions. So it's categorized into four parts. So we have the input devices, the output devices, the storage devices, and then the processing devices. So remember, from the definition of computer, we said computer is an electronic device that accepts data, processes data, stores data, and gives out information. So when we say input device, think about any parts of the computer that help you to input data into the computer. For example, the keyboard. Whenever you want to type into the computer, you use the keyboard to type into the computer. So because the keyboard allows you to type into the computer, the keyboard is regarded as an input device. And also, it's also an external device because it is a hardware found outside the computer. Then we have the mouse. We use the mouse to select, to click. So we use it to give command to do something in the computer. So the mouse is also an input device. So the scanner, which we use to convert a physical document into a digital document, is also considered as input device. Then we have the output device. So output devices are those parts of the computer that help the computer to give out information, such as the speaker. The speaker produces the sound. The microphone is an input device because it takes in the sound, while the speaker is an output device because it produces the sound. Then we have the monitor. The monitor is an output device because it helps the computer to display. It helps the computer to show what you are doing with the computer. So the monitor is an output device. Okay, so we have other output devices such as projector, a headphone, and etc. Then we now have the storage device. The storage device are the parts of the computer that help the computer to store data. Then, like RAM is an example of memory device, the hard disk drive, etc. They are all example of storage device. Then after storage device, we have the processing device. The processing device is the part of the computer that helps the computer to process data. For example, whenever you want to calculate, the processing device is the part of the computer that helps the computer to calculate. So let's consider the processing device as the brain of the computer. Okay, so like when I say whenever I want to do any calculation or whenever I want to think, I use my brain to do so. So since the computer can also calculate, so it means that computer has a brain, and the brain of the computer is what? The processing device. A good example of a processing device is the CPU, which which simply means central processing units.